Hey guys, this is Chris Clothier with another episode of the Grind Podcast. I'm your host for the next 15 to 20 minutes, and I'm excited to be here. I hope you're excited to be with me too. Behind the scenes, they just told me to have a blast. I was wondering, there's hardly anything I do that I don't enjoy, and when it comes to doing the podcast, the Grind Podcast, this is something I love. So I was kind of laughing when they told me to go have a blast. I was like, that's what I always do. Listen, this week's topic, it's a good one. It's one that we get asked a lot about. I'm going to give you 3 very simple things that you need to do, where your head needs to be, the things you need to think about, and including some of the details if you want to accelerate your business. Again, we talked before about taking a hobby to a business, taking a side hustle, or a hobby to a side hustle to a business. But there's more to it than just deciding you want to do it. There's some practical things you need to think of that these are part of that to-do list, part of the to-do list, and figuring out when I take them from my to-do list to my today list, what am I supposed to do? And here's the 3 things that I really think you need to think about. Number 1, it's what is your product? And what is that product or service you're going to do, and how are you going to tell people about it? The second one is what's unique. How are you going to be unique? They call it the value proposition or your unique selling point, whatever you're going to be. But there's a way to go about being unique in very crowded industries and crowded fields that I think we need to make sure that we are paying attention to. And the third one is if whatever you're doing requires team, it requires you adding people to be able to grow, to be able to duplicate, to be able to kind of reach the level of success or drive that you have. Well, then how do you take that unique selling point? How do you take that idea that you've got to create a new business or a new brand and teach it to someone else, and not just teach it to them, but actually inspire them to share your inspiration, to actually get out there and have the same enthusiasm for your product or your service that you have? I'm telling you guys, there is definitely an art to it. There's a way to accomplish that, and then there's a way to miss. And those that miss tend to struggle. Those that have figured out how to kind of transfer their enthusiasm to those around them, get them inspired the way they are, they succeed. So listen, in picking that product, in picking that service, there's a couple things I can tell you that, of course we talked before, what do you love to do? What gets you fired up, each day? What maybe is your, special talent that that I could do really, really well and turn into a business, or turn into, a business I can run with my family, whatever it ends up being. I urge everybody that's listening here that you can't follow someone else's dream, and you cannot live someone else's, drive and desire. You have to, that's something that has to come from within. Whatever inspires you as you wake up each day. And again, thinking back to previous podcasts, whether it is photography or landscaping or, heck, like I said about with Sean Whalen, you take a business that's built around helping people become the best version of themselves, and you turn it into a multi-million-dollar, apparel company. That takes drive and passion. All right. So he would never succeed if he said, you know what, I want to take this and turn it into a car dealership where I'm selling cars to everybody that's out there, wanting to be the best version of themselves. And we're going to have the best version of cars for them. It doesn't work. He's not passionate about it. It's not congruent with what it is he's trying to accomplish. So be true to yourself. Find something that you're passionate about. Be passionate about it and figure out how to let that kind of come out in whatever business or product or service it is you're trying to put together. And then when it comes to being unique, so this is where I think that, I look back at my family's business, REI Nation. This is where I think that we really have excelled. This is where we put a lot of space between us and anybody else that's out there in our particular niche of real estate. We figured out very early on that the experience that somebody has when you're thinking about investing in real estate, nobody thinks about that as an experience they're going to have. They think about it as, in all honesty, they think about it as a nightmare. Like, oh my gosh, I'm investing far from home. Only bad things can happen. I'm taking massive risks to do this. And we figured out how to take that natural inclination to be fearful and remove it from the equation. Show investors that through the way we presented our product, the way we presented our services, the attention to detail that we paid to every little nuance that somebody was going to experience and feel along the way was all designed to remove that fear. It was really designed to make somebody feel like I might be 1,500 miles away from the house I'm buying, but I feel like I'm buying a house next door. You can do that with just about every single business that you have. Nobody knows this, but there was a time a long time ago, probably closer to 20, 30 years ago, when my dad owned, he owned a bar, restaurant. We were in the restaurant business for a short amount of time. And the thing that he crushed everybody on, that nobody else got it, he was willing to take these huge, massive risks by these bringing in radio personalities to do contests at night. He would have all these different themes that he would use and use other people's celebrity and use the opportunity that people wanted to gather in a unique, new fun atmosphere in a different way for a different event. He was constantly creating these events. He even went so far right here in Memphis, Tennessee, to fly in 5 Dallas Cowboy cheerleaders to do a sign and picture event at that bar and restaurant at the beginning of the NFL season. And so what no one else was doing, no one else was even thinking about, no one else was, everyone else was doing a buy one, get one free. And he's saying, no, come up here and meet somebody that you want to meet. Get your picture taken. It was this unique way of selling his business that worked. Another quick example about Kent Sr. with this uniqueness is, and it's not real estate. Again, this is something, completely different. When we first moved back here to Memphis, he was working with my grandfather, who was the local Pizza Inn franchisee. He had, I think, 17 stores all around the Mid-South. He's one of the largest franchisees in the country. My grandfather was. That's why we call him the original entrepreneur of our family. And, my dad joins him, and they're going to open up a brand new store. And my dad says, I'm going to go up here to the local Toyota dealership or whatever it is where we buy all of our delivery trucks from, and I'm going to get them to give us a truck, not a delivery truck. I get them to give us a truck that we're going to park in front of the store, and we're going to give it away through a raffle. People are going to come in, they're going to sign up for it. When they eat dinner, throw their receipt in, whatever it is, we're going to have people come in and register for this raffle. And at the time, my grandfather, he's a very smart man. Not knocking him at all, but he just didn't believe this was going to be possible. There is no way that somebody's going to just give us a truck to give away. But my dad knew I can provide them signage, I can provide them advertising, I can provide them the opportunity for others to be able to hear about them through this giveaway. And sure enough, the day they opened that store, there was a truck sitting right out there in front of that store that I think they spent like 4 weeks, a 4-week grand opening, driving traffic through this Pizza Inn store. And eventually they gave that truck away. It didn't cost them a dime to put it out there. It's the realization for you that you can be unique in so many different ways. It can be by being better than everyone else at what you do. It can be the way you provide service. We talk customer service and customer experience on here constantly. It can be the way you deliver the experience that they have. Or it can even be a thing, a promotional item, and the way that you go about promoting your business is just better than what anybody else is willing to do. Here's one thing I know for sure, what I've learned in my years of business on my own and with family, is that I have received zero of what I never asked for. That's a common law, that when you don't ask for it, you're not getting it. And so if you can dream it, if you want to try it, put it together, put it on your today list that today I'm calling this person, I'm asking them to come on my podcast. Tomorrow I'm going to call this person. I'm going to ask them to help me advertise. Tomorrow I'm going to put this promotion in place to help promote my business and be unique. Whatever it ends up being, guys, if you don't go for it, it won't happen. If you go for it, you give yourself a shot. You give yourself a chance to make it come to fruition. So be unique about it. The last one is your team. as you can tell, as I'm sitting here talking, I'm 10 minutes in. I'm an animated guy. I'm definitely the talker of the Clothier family for sure. Business acumen, I've got it. Spreadsheets and enjoying it, I missed that one. That's something I don't have so much. But I love communicating. I love talking. I love listening. I love meeting and combining and sharing and hearing. I mean, this whole communication thing is something that I truly, truly love doing. And so, with me, whenever I get team around me, I want them to understand how passionate I am about this. And so whether it's through training, whether it's through sharing, and I mean like sharing books I'm reading, sharing ideas I'm having, recording phone calls, just sitting down and saying, tell me what obstacles you're having right now to getting over objections of a client, of anybody, of any objection whatsoever. What are your own objections I can help you get over? Because I want you to believe in what it is we're doing as much as I do. I learned a lot of that from going back to the beginning of this business, but also having started, I think at this point, 3 or 4 other businesses with my dad. All right. So I've done my own, he's done his own, but we've also done some stuff together. And, I watch as we sit down and we talk to people and say, this is what we're going to do and how we're going to achieve it. And I see the change in them, that they come around and say, wow, this is going to happen. A great example for you is the grind. The grind. Here we are with a new project that we wanted to start. It's already seen unbelievable, like even the response that we've received, we could envision it, but actually getting there, we knew was going to be a challenge, and we've reached this unbelievable response so far. But I will never forget, we hired a young lady back in January of this year. I need to make sure I get all my dates right here, that I get all this down right. Heather, she joined us as the VP of marketing. All right. So this is a job that I've been doing for a while, that I kept telling us that we've got to get a professional in here. We've got to get somebody that knows what the heck they're doing. And we brought her in from the corporate world. Fantastic pickup for us. I mean, unbelievable. But I will never forget, one day she walks into us, just a random day, and she says, you know what? I was talking with my husband last night, and I realized something. You guys, meaning the Clothier family, y'all actually believe you can do anything. Like, it's not an act. It's not something that you just kind of put on and go out there and pretend. She's like, y'all actually believe that you can do anything. And she was right, 100%. We do not waste our time with projects or companies or ideas that we do not believe in 100%. And so it's critical. It's critical to see the change in her, because she came from the corporate world, right? And she came from a world where, I don't want to say there wasn't the same type of belief, but it just wasn't this small family-owned business. And even though we're a big business and a billion-dollar company, it still feels small. Somebody can still walk in and say, this is what I think, and we're going to listen. To be in that environment, she was like, I never realized that, that's what it took to be successful. You have to have this fervent belief that nothing is going to stop you. Nothing's going to hold you back. And when you do, you transfer that to your team. So you come up with something to be successful in business, guys, to wind it down. You must believe. You have to have something that you absolutely love to do, something you're passionate about, because, again, tying back to something I've said before, you cannot rely on getting excited about something. You can't rely on motivation. It doesn't work. It comes and goes. It has to be passion. So you find out what you're passionate about. You create the unique way of selling it, presenting it, marketing it, advertising, whatever it is, but what makes it unique? What's different? How can you drive interest in it? And then third, when you start building out a team, they have to believe in you, and they have to believe that you believe. And if you can convince your team that, hey guys, I'm passionate, we are unique, we are going to succeed, we're going to get there, believe me, they will help drive you anywhere you want to go. Man, I'm enjoying this. I appreciate you guys joining me here today for another episode of The Grind. I've got so many more topics. I can't wait, but I'm keeping these as, these 15-minute sessions for you guys. I hope you enjoyed it. Until we meet again on another topic, commit to the grind. We'll see you soon.